super excited to tell you guys this story. I'm sorry, okay, that's OD. As y'all read by the title, God blessed me with my own apartment. And this is something that I feel like I should be more excited. I feel like I'm not excited enough or happy enough. And I don't know, but just listen to the story, please. I promise you. Like, this is nothing but God. And if you're in a situation right now where you need housing or you're homeless, like, listen to this, please. Please listen to it. Please just go get your popcorn, go get a snack, and just listen, okay? So, last year, April 2023, I took this business trip and I ended up pregnant. I got pregnant on this trip and I came back home, of course, to my mom's house. And I said, Mama, I gotta tell you some news. I'm pregnant. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. And at the time, I was pregnant with no marriage, no ring. Follow with me. Please follow along with me. I got pregnant. I didn't have a ring, etc. So my mother is a really big, believer in Jesus. She's a Christian. And she said, well, you can stay, but you're going to have to find a job and save up to get out because I'm not going to raise no grandchild. I said, okay, cool. My mama, I love my mama, but, she can be a little controlling at times. But, she was like, well, you should put the baby up for adoption. I said, I'm not going to put the child up for adoption. And, it caused an argument with my mom, and she essentially kicked me out. So I ended up living, and she gave me like $50. She called the cops, gave me $50 to go get a hotel, figure it out. Oh, Jesus. So I ended up going to a hotel, and I'm maybe like 9 weeks pregnant, right? I'm about by the time I'm living in the hotel, I'm like 11 weeks pregnant. And I'm crying, I'm depressed, I'm devastated. Y'all, do you understand? Like, y'all understand if you're a mom, even if you're not, you can think like, what am I going to do? I'm only 22 years old. At the time I was 22 years old, or 21, actually. I was 21, and then I turned 22. I'm turning 23 this year. I was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm crying, I'm boohooing, I'm sobbing. And y'all, when I tell y'all, I cried the most heart, gut-wrenching cry of my life. I went every night I would cry and I would say, Lord, like, help me. Like, God, I'm sorry. I messed up and I need you to fix this. I need you to fix this because I can't fix this myself. And I can't put y'all in the headspace I was in. Just know, like, I was sobbing. And I said, Lord, I can't raise this child by myself. I said, I refuse to raise this child by myself. I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I need your help. And the Lord heard my prayer. As I was living in this hotel, I met this guy. And that guy he's from Jamaica. And he ended up like, he was cute or whatever. He ended up getting my number and stuff. And then, some things happened. We were intimate. And I explained to him, I said, I'm pregnant, right? And he's like, yeah, well, that's my son now. I'll take care of your child. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You don't have to worry about that. And get it. Like, come on now. I'm pregnant. Just got pregnant. Freshly pregnant. I'm not with the father of my child at the moment. And I'm like, okay, I was vulnerable. I was weak. And he said, well, you have to learn how to let people love you, Naya. And I promise I'm going somewhere. Just listen. He said, Naya, you have to learn how to let people love you. I said, okay, I was crying and I'm like, I just can't do it. And he's like, well, do you want to get married one day? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what ring size are you? And I'm like, I'm a size 6.5. He said, no way, I have a size 6.5 ring. I said, no, you don't. 2 days later, he came with a size 6.5 ring and he proposed to me. I said no the first 3 times, but then I ended up saying yes. And this is where the lesson comes in of wait on God to do something and don't be impulsive and do it with your own strength and your own might. I ended up saying yes because I'm listening to him. He's like, you got to learn how to let me love you. If you don't let people love you, who's going to raise your child? Tugging on my heartstrings, And I'm like, okay. And I ended up saying yes. We went to the courthouse, signed the papers and documents. This whole time I did it, y'all, I felt terrible. It was not what I wanted to do. I felt in my heart. I knew it when I asked him if he believed in Jesus, and his response was, well, I believe in God. I said, but do you believe in Jesus? He says, well, I'm a Freemason, and, yada, 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 yada. If you don't know what Freemasonry is, look it up. But it's basically a religion or like a brotherhood where They believe all religions are true. It's nonsense. It's paganism, stupidity, if you will. This is my page. Who won't check me? It's stupid. But I didn't listen to my discernment. So I went through with the marriage. I got married. Y'all, me and this guy have never lived together. I met him at this hotel. He worked at the hotel. Okay. I ended up going back home for like a little while. Because one of my friends was like, Naya, like, this is ridiculous. Just go back home. Like, that's your mom. You should be able to go back home. So they dropped me off at home. And the police told my mother that she couldn't kick me out unless she had, like, a written statement or whatever. So I was there back at home for maybe 2 weeks at my mom's house. And then, you know, I ended up getting kicked back out again. So I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I went to this church called Revelation Church by Prophet Lovi. You should know who Prophet Lovi is. If you don't know who Prophet Lovi is, you know who Prophet Lovi is. And if you don't, look him up and you will know who Prophet Lovi is. Me and my friend were like, yeah, we want to go. Like, he was like, well, Naya, do you want to go to LA to go to this church? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, let's go. Being impulsive. Again, don't do this. Don't be like me. Don't do what I do. And we went to LA, and I asked my husband, the guy that I married. I said, hey, we got married in May 2023. I said, hey, do you want to go to LA with me? He said no. I said, please. And I begged him to go. He was like, no, you just go. This is not a trip for me. He didn't go with me. Essentially, he didn't go. And I said, you know what? I can't do this. I said, I want a divorce. I can't. I don't want this. I got married and I was weak and I just feel like this is holding me back. He said, fine. It is what it is. So I went to California. And me and my friend were sleeping in the car in California. I'm at this point like maybe 2 months pregnant. From 2 to 4.5, 5 months pregnant, I was sleeping in the car in Los Angeles, California. And I would call him, my husband, you know, I say that because I don't count as my husband because we've never lived together, but I'd call him and I'm like, hey, I need help. Like, I was getting nosebleeds. I was in the ER. I was having early contractions at 5 months pregnant. I'm like, I just want to go home. I was going to pastors to get advice, and I'm like, I'm apologizing to him, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry I came to California. Just kissing his behind, like, essentially. Because he'd always gaslight me and say, well, no, I didn't tell you to go. No, but you did, though. I asked you to come with me, and he didn't want to go. He told me to go by myself, and he was like, thank you for being a big girl. He even gave me the information to buy an apartment there with me. He never bought the apartment with me. He never sent me any money. We had a joint bank account. He never sent me any money in it. I was like, well, can I just come? He's like, no, I don't want you to come here. You can't live in the hotel with me because I don't want my boss, something with his boss. He don't want his boss to know or to see me. And I'm like, but I'm your wife. She can't tell you that I can't live with you. He's like, no, you can't come. Okay. So I have to sneeze. I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's going to come out. So excuse me in advance. God bless the truth. So I ended up coming back to the state that I live in currently. One of my friends at the time, guy friends at the time, he was like, yeah, like, I can take, I can watch the child for you. I can rub your feet. I can do all this stuff. And again, I'm vulnerable. Like, you have to think about the mindset and space that I'm in. If I'm a homeless pregnant woman who's not dating the father of my child, who just currently got married to a guy who doesn't want me, clearly, because we've never lived together. He doesn't want to live together, and essentially for other reasons besides love, because we're gonna get to that, right? I'm like, yeah, but in my mind, I came back home because I just wanted to be in my home state so that when I gave birth, I was close to my family, right? So I'm living with this guy. It became romantic, and I ended up telling the guy, like, you know what? I don't want this. This is not how I want to do this. This is not what I want. I don't want this. Friends don't, let's just say it the way it is. Friends don't do that. So I want to, refrain from doing this. And I didn't like how he didn't respect me. He would flirt with girls, and it's just not my cup of tea. And then y'all, God is calling me to be so many big things in my life. I didn't belong with a person like him. So, he started distancing himself, and he moved out of the apartment, left me in there, no money to pay the rent at all. He said, well, my dad is going to pay the rent for you. You don't have to worry about it. My dad will pay it. You have it to the end of March. I ended up going into labor January 9th. About January, 14th, his dad comes over and he's like, hey, I want to check on you and the baby. So, you do know you have until the end of February, right? I said, I thought it was March. He said, nope, things change. And I'm like, what happened to the end of March? What happened to the end of March? I thought I had, my baby's not even going to be, that's not even my whole 6 weeks. I gave birth January 9th. I need 6 weeks, which is a whole month and a half. And you said in the end of February, that's only 1 month. I'm still bleeding. What do you mean the end of February? And I'm like, he's like, well, do you have anywhere to go? I'm like, no. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, God got it. And he looked at me. He said, what are you going to do? I said, God got it. He said, okay. And I haven't had so much faith in my life than when I was in this situation. And everybody, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? God got it. I texted my mom. I said, hey, I gotta be out of this apartment that I'm living in currently. I explained the situation, how he was a guy that I knew for a while, but our first time living together. I said, I need you to look for some lease takeovers, so that I'm not on the street with my son. So she starts looking for some, and I'm not doing anything. And I'm just sitting, and God is like, rest. And he just has me in this place of rest. And I'm like, Lord, what am I going to do? You keep saying rest, but I got to figure this out. And don't we always do that? Every time God tells us to do something, don't we always question, well, but God, I got to do this. So I sat, and my mom would call me maybe every few days, and she'd say, well, the guy, he didn't respond. I found an apartment. He said he's ready to lease it out immediately. He got a house. He's ready to move. I said, okay, but and she'd be like, but he's not replying. And I would tell her, I'm like, God got it. I'm not worried about it. I don't even care. I'm not worried about it. Because I know my God enough. I know my Father in heaven enough to know he won't let me be struggling on the street with my child. It just won't happen. Time goes by, and the guy who I was staying with at that apartment who moved out, his dad was he was the one that was paying the rent for me to be there for the last 3 months, maybe 2.5 months I was there. And he would say, I want you out. I want you out. My mom was like, don't you move. You better stay put. I'm like, but Mama, his name was on the lease, not mine. He wants me out. My mom is like, don't you move. And there is prophecy behind that, Jesus. But she said, don't you move. She said, stay put. She said, even squatters have privileges. You've been living there since October 2023. And I'm like, what's a squatter? She's like, a person who, if they wanted to come into your house and while you weren't there, they broke into your house, they could stay there because they could say that they've been living there for 30 days or more. I'm like, oh. So again, I was living there from October 2023 up until November, December, January, February, March. I lived there for 6 months. So I had privileges in that. That was my house. The man whose name was on the rent, who paid the bills, his name was on the lease, but he has never lived there. The guy's daddy never lived there. He just paid the bills there. Y'all, I can't even explain to you how this story unfolds the way it do. When I'm finished telling y'all gonna be like, this don't even make sense. But this is, just listen. I promise you, just listen. So, so the guy starts, he starts harassing me. He's like, I want you out. I don't want you here. This is too much. Y'all got me in this bind. I don't want to pay the rent here. You have to move out by February because we're sending some movers to come and move some stuff out of this apartment. And I'm like, I can't move, and I'm not, my mom is like, don't you respond to him. Don't say nothing to him. You just stay put and you sit there. So I'm just letting him text me, blow my phone up every day. Every week, he's blowing my phone up. Y'all, imagine. Okay, I have no job, no money. I'm pregnant, or I just gave birth to a newborn. My baby's about maybe 1 month old at this point. Nobody's here with me. It's just me. Okay, so, and he's threatening to put me out. My name is not on the lease. I'm just staying here. Put yourself like in that mindset, in that mind space. So he's like, yeah, I want you to get out. Then he finally serves the papers. I go to the court. I say, hey, no, I don't think I should leave. So, if you've never been to court before, when somebody serves you papers, like let's say for an eviction or something, you have a right to go to court and I can't think of the word, but like to counteract their request or ask for a hearing, or that's what it's called. And so they gave me an extra, I'll say another month to be there. So they came in, they moved the furniture. Only thing they left was the bed. The guy who I was living with, who moved out, he was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna take everything, but you can keep the bed. And his mom was there. His mom and his dad are separated. They don't live together. So the guy came with his mom to move the things, but his dad was the one whose name was on the lease. His mom was like, yeah, we're not gonna leave you, hanging dry. Like, we're not gonna just take all this stuff. Like, you have a baby. She's a mother, so she understood. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. Like, thank you. So I had a TV, and I had a bed, and I had my baby's crib and my clothes. That's it. And a microwave. That's it. So we ended up going to court, and we went to court, whatever, and the judge gave me 10 days. Now he said, you are to be out of this apartment on April 7th, which was 10 days. Now, there's something prophetic about the number 7. And we know what that is. The number 7 is completion. So the guy's dad is like, well, my lease is already up, is there a way we can speed this up? And the judge is like, April 7th. He's like, well, they're gonna charge me a late fee if she doesn't move out. Like, she needs to go. And he's like, she's leaving on April 7th. Okay. So the guy's like, all right. He's like, well, is there a way I can, sue for the, the furniture that she's sleeping on that she left there? And the judge's like, that's between you and her. And I explained to the judge, I said, Judge, that's not his stuff, that's his son's stuff. And his son told me I could keep it, the bed, the TV, etc. And the judge was like, well, then that's between her and your son, sir. There's nothing you can do about that, but you can go and like file the papers out, and you guys can come back to court, but it's not, So he took it upon himself thinking he doing something. Y'all, when I say he was harassing me, he was turning the thermostat down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing. I have a newborn baby. He was putting the cool air on 40 degrees. So I was getting up every 5 to 10 minutes to turn the AC back on heat. And I had to turn it to like 90 just to get it to warm up, because he was turning it to 40. Because the apartments that I was living in at the time, it was like a smart home. So you can control the lights, the thermostat, the lock on the door with your phone. So he was controlling all that stuff. And y'all, it was just terrible. It was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible. I was going back and forth from court. I was walking everywhere. Don't have money. Don't have nothing. Again, not worried. So, not worried. And I know that confused the devil, because he's like, why won't this girl just worry? What's wrong with her? But I wasn't worried. And what happened after that? I want to make sure I have the story right. Mind you, while all this is happening, the guy who I married still won't give me a divorce. Even still right now, to this day that you're watching this, he's trying to do it his own way. And again, I believe he only married me for citizenship reasons. Because one, why would you marry me without living with me? You don't want to live with me. You make it a big deal. This guy moved to Maine. Let's just say I don't live in Maine. He lives maybe 12 hours from me, from the state that I live in. The guy that married me, my husband, in the beginning of the story, he's from Jamaica. Why else would you marry me? And you don't want to live with me? Why else would you rush me and pressure me to marry you? And that's on my mind. That's stressing me out. everything is just stressing me out. I'm like, Lord, if you don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. And it got to a point where I'm like, I can't worry, because whatever happens, it is what it is. It is it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about this right now. I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't have no babysitter to go watch my baby. My mama live an hour and a half away from me. My sister's in college. My little brother is 10. And my son's dad is a visitor. He came to visit. Well, I mean, he not from here. Who gonna watch my son? Can't get a job. So it's like, I don't want you to get no job. You're gonna do what I tell you to do. So fast forward, the police come on April 7th. Hey, you guys gotta get out of here. Which means we gotta get out of here. My mom was like, I was on the phone with my mom, and she was like, don't listen to them. Just ignore everything they're saying. The police are like, you gotta get out of here. Like, the leasing office, they don't want you here. And that lady was nasty. When I went to the office, I'm like, hey, like, I forgot what I told her, but I believe I told her something about like, hey, can I extend the time that I'm here? Mind you, I offered to help pay the rent. I offered to help him and give him money. Like, all I have, is $900 a month. Even still, right now to this day, I only get $900 a month from the government. I'm like, I can give you $800. Leave $100 for my phone bill. I can give you $800 towards the rent there, and you just pay the other half. He's like, no, I want you out. So I tried. Y'all know, like, I tried. I'm doing everything I can to make sure I can provide for me and my son. He didn't want to, so I'm like, and he's like, yeah. The police is like, yeah, we want you out. So the police is just standing there in the middle of the door while me and my baby and my baby's father are getting ready, and we're just moving around, and getting our stuff, and we're like, we don't have nowhere. Where are we about to go? Where are we about to go? My mentor called me, and she's like, yeah, I got somebody who can help you guys get a hotel. She gave me enough money for 3 nights. It was only enough for 1 night. Luckily, I had money because I get $900 a month, but I had about, I'd say $700. So I got me a room for 3 nights. Some told me to do a week, but I didn't listen. But I got me a room for 3 nights. And it's a cycle with this week. Like, God is always working in 7-day intervals for me. That's for somebody. So I got the hotel room. We moved the whole rest of our stuff, all our clothes, my baby's clothes, everything, into the hotel we were at. The hotel was not the cleanest. It was not the cutest. It was giving Jesus born in the manger, right? It wasn't a motel, but it wasn't cute. It wasn't clean, nothing. They had like a little stove, and luckily it was walking distance from like a Quick Trip is a gas station. And everywhere I noticed throughout all of this, like, everywhere that I go, there's favor. And I pray every day, and I'm like, Lord, thank you for favor. And I thank him for it in advance, because I have to speak that thing. I have to claim that thing. If I don't claim it, it will not be so. I have to claim that thing. I have to say, Lord, thank you for favor. Even though I don't see favor with my eyes, even though I don't see grace with my eyes, I'm going to thank you for it, because I know this ain't what it looked like. It can't be what it looked like. I got too much grace and favor. I done been through too much. You ain't bring me this far to leave me. It can't be what it looked like. It can't be. It can't be. This can't be what it looked like. So, the people at the hotel, usually you have to wait until 3 p.m. to check in. I checked in at like 1:30 p.m. And she didn't ask for a holding fee or a deposit. She just let me stay. She was like, yeah, you guys go get your room. And they loved my baby. They love my baby so much. Like, I meet people everywhere I go. And my mom is calling me. She's like, yeah, well, the guy, speaking of which, like the apartment situation, she's like, well, maybe you should try calling the guy for the lease takeover. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I've never vouched for myself or, stood up for myself so much in my life before. Ever. But okay, I'll do it. So I called the guy, and he's like, yeah. He's like, well, you have to give me the $600 deposit. I'm like, all I got is like this much money. But you know, I did it out of faith. I said, but I don't have a car. I don't have a way to get it to you. And the only way the office downstairs accepts the payment is through a money order, or a cashier's check. So I'm like, I don't have a car. So the guy who handed me over or subleased, you know, this apartment to me, he said, I'll come pick you up and I'll take you to Walmart to get that money order. So I went to go get the money order. I gave it to him, gave it to the office, and I waited. And I said, Lord, let your will be done. And I thanked him every day. Thank you, Jesus, for my new apartment. Thank you, Jesus, for my new house. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. Thank you, Jesus. And the office would call me every few days. Hey, we need this. Okay, I give it to them. Okay, hey, we also need this. Hey, we also need this too. And I'm like, Lord, look. At this point, they got me going in circles. And I'm not one for going in circles. I refuse to keep going in circles. I'm not going to do it. I'm like, Lord, you're going to have to do something. Because I feel like at this point, the devil is playing with me. And I'm tired of being played with. You feel me? So I said, I will get this apartment. And it is so. I got angry. I'm like, I will get it. It ain't no more wait. It ain't no more what is. I'm going to get this apartment. It ain't no other choice but for me to get this apartment. So she called me and she's like, hey, congrats. My mom was like, have you called them? I said, yeah. No, she was like, have you called them? I said, no. I said, but I'm going to call them. And she said, yeah. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, hi, Miss Jones. Congratulations on getting approved. Y'all, I have a 0 credit score. Oh, wow. I don't have credit. Never built it. I'm just starting to build it. I don't have credit. These are high-end apartments. These are luxury apartments. I don't know if you could tell by like the background and where I'm sitting at. The microwave is hanging. So these are luxury apartments. There's lights behind me, lights in front of me. I'm sitting at my island on the opposite side of it. These are luxury apartments. Get $900 a month. She's like, congratulations on your approval. When would you like to move in? I said, tomorrow? Can I move in tomorrow? She's like, yeah, but you gotta get all this done. You gotta sign up for the renter's insurance. You gotta, you gotta talk to the guy. A lot of steps, essentially. So I'm like, all right, bet. I signed up for renter's insurance. I signed up for some other stuff that I need. I still gotta get cable, I gotta get Wi-Fi. And again, all I get is $900 a month. This apartment is about, I'll say $1,400 a month, $1,400 a month, $1,400 a month. Do I know where I'm about to get that rent money to pay for May? No. Am I about to stress about it or worry about it? No, because my name is Faith. And so God has to put me in situations to where I have to have a lot of faith so that my faith grows. Because what am I? Who am I to be faith and I don't know how to operate in it, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from. Do I know how I'm going to get divorced from this guy who married me for citizenship? No. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I want to pause in the story before I finish, because there's a big part of this story. But I feel like a lot of people play on my heartstrings because I have a big heart. I have the heart of the Lord. And there are times when I'm like, Lord, why am I still stuck in this? Like, Lord, I know I got my apartment, but why am I still stuck in this marriage? Like, I just want to be free. And the Lord had to tell me, He's like, Naya, you do too much. You're too impulsive. You're always doing things without asking me. And every time, even though you don't ask me, I still tell you. And you never listen to me. How do you think it makes me feel as your father that I tell you so many things to try to save you and rescue you, and you keep getting yourself in situations? Why do you like to see yourself hurt? Why do you like how pain feels? So I have to keep you here for a little bit until I free you from the situation. I don't have no attorney. I have nothing. But I believe God is going to do it. He's just teaching me a lesson right now. So I'm moving to the apartment, and it's this couple from church. They came up to me one day at church. Like, I feel like it was the Sunday before I moved into the apartment. They said, "What do you need?" I said, "I don't really know how to ask for nothing. I don't really know how to tell you what I need now." Like, that's a little extreme. Like, what you mean? And he said, "Don't be prideful," you know. And this, I say this with so much love, but I go to a white church, white dominant, white church. So I'm like, first of all, I'm not even used to my own people asking me, let alone white people asking me. I'm not racist. I love everybody, but you guys know how it feels to be black and how it feels to be stereotyped and looked at like, oh, there you go, another baby mama who don't have nothing, who need help. So I'm like, I don't really want to bother. And the guy told me, he said, "You will offend me if you don't tell me what you need so that I can help you." They're like an older couple, husband, wife, and their daughter was there. He said, "You will offend me if you don't tell me what you need." So maybe I need some diapers and some wipes, maybe. And he said, "Okay, done. What else?" I said, "That's it." I said, "Well, I'm trying to work on getting a car and all this kind of stuff." And he's like, "Okay, done. What else?" Nothing else. Maybe some more days for my hotel room. The whole time I need rent money. Didn't tell them that. They had ended up giving me and my child's father some money because my child's father's birthday is on April 7th. Ironically, that was the day we had to move out, and they were like, "Yeah, well, y'all can go." We went to Topgolf, and he was like, "Y'all can go. Y'all can have fun. Y'all can splurge, do whatever. Go berserk." He gave us like a $250 gift card. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And he took the baby. They took the baby. Baby sat. I'm like, "Thank you, Jesus." Like, oh my goodness. Hey, Bubba. He just woke up. I'm like, "Oh my goodness." Like, thank you. Y'all, when we moved into this apartment, these people, they said, "What kind of furniture do you need?" I said, maybe like a couch and a bed. Being modest still. She said, "Does the color of the furniture matter?" I said, "Maybe neutral." I have a couch, an ottoman. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So, I have a couch. I have an ottoman. I have a dining room table. I have three bar stools for my dang, I'm sorry, y'all. When I'm holding my baby, my mind goes blank. My island in my kitchen, they gave us a king size bed. I'm sorry, y'all, my baby is breastfed. Please just work with me here, okay? I'm trying to stay modest. I'm gonna be done with this video soon, but I have a house full of furniture. I have a side table for the couch, a lamp, and I have hardwood floors in the kitchen, dark brown cabinets, a dishwasher. They gave us toaster ovens. They bought us like everything, right? So I'm like, okay, good. All I have to do is buy like the rest of the necessities, like the plunger and like the towels, washcloths, dish soap, dish rags, all that kind of stuff. I'm in Target, and me and his dad are in Target, and I'm like, you think we should like go home? Like, I don't know. So we left the store. I'm like, can we go back? And he's like, "What's wrong with you? Like why do you keep going back and forth? Like, why are you confused in your mind right now? What's happening?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just feel like I thought I wanted to go get some food, but I feel like we need to go back to Target." So we went back into the Target. Tell me why I see the married couple, and they're like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey." And I was just telling his dad, like, I don't know how I'm going to get this stuff. I don't know how I'm about to pay for this stuff. I don't know how, but I don't know. I said, we'll just get the important stuff. Because, again, I only get $900 a month. And the husband looks at me and he's like, "We got that for you already. Put that back. And this too. Actually, you don't need none of this. We already got everything that you have in this cart for you." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Matter of fact, we'll buy your groceries too." Huh? I kid you not. They spent $1,800 on me for this apartment. Pots, pans, kitchen sets, towels.
I like the bag.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Stuff in them.
Come on, man.
Just fine.
I gotta show my mom.
There you go. Big old grocery bag.
I gotta show my mom. This is crazy. Shower curtains, bed covers, king size pillows, comfort, $60 pillows, y'all. I'm like, do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Like, I don't think, do y'all see what I'm seeing? I said, Lord, like, his daddy was about to cry. For those of you who are curious about, you know, why I keep talking about his dad is in his life now. His dad did come back, but, you know, his dad is not from here. So his dad is looking for work. He's looking for a job. His dad can't help me pay rent right now at the moment. So it's just me still with my $900. I got a phone bill. I got renter's insurance. I got rent. I got him to pay for, which is a whole life insurance bill every week. And if you ask me, Naya, how are you going to survive for next month? I can't tell you. Now, is it a little stressful sometimes when I get depressed? Yeah, I'm like, Lord, why do you always have me in a state of, like, unknown? But it's not a state of unknown. It's a state of faith. And I don't know whose story is similar to mine or whose story is like mine, but nothing I'm doing right now makes sense. But God is in a season right now where it's the record-breaking year, like Prophetess Tiffany says. This is a season right now where God is breaking rules for his children. And when he says the first will be last and the last will be first, he meant that. God is sending destiny helpers right now to help you in situations in your life, specifically homelessness. God is tired of seeing especially his children on the street. If you are homeless right now, if you are struggling right now, if you don't know how you're going to make ends meet, I promise if you just have faith in God, he will provide for you. I promise I spent $0 putting stuff in this apartment. I didn't spend a dime. Now, is it enough to pay my rent? Nope. Am I going to worry about my rent? No. Because if I didn't spend a dime to furnish this house, I won't have to spend a dime to pay that rent. Because God do it. I won't be surprised if I wake up and I get a confirmation message saying thank you for your rent payment this month and I ain't pay a dime. I say this to say, y'all, have faith. The way that God works in my life is a different type of faith. It's a different type of miracle. It's a different type of provider. God is a miracle working God. God is a miracle working God. He's teething, y'all. He is a miracle working God. Don't give up on God because he won't give up on you. God blessed me with this apartment, and this apartment is so nice. And every day I look around, I have to remind myself, be grateful, be grateful, be grateful, because this is just, from where I come from to here. I told the Lord that if he blessed me, and from every blessing from, you know, when I was going through what I was going through, I said, Lord, if you bless me, I'll tell the whole world you did it, no matter what the blessing is. This is blessing number one. Of course, not in my whole life, but since I promised him that, and we had, you know, we came to our little agreement, because God did do it. I don't have a job, and I still don't have a job. I haven't worked a job in 2 years, yet I'm living in a luxury apartment. And I know hearing stories like this sounds like, oh, you know, but I didn't get the miracle because I sat down and was doing nothing. Resting in God does not mean being lazy, resting on him. It does not mean laying and doing nothing. It does not mean not being productive. Resting in God means you do what he says, then that's it. Then don't think about it. Resting in God means calling the guy who had this lease, saying, hey, I would like this apartment, and then relaxing, letting God finish it. Resting in God is calling up to the office, the leasing office of this apartment, and saying, hey, I've filled in my application, and then letting God do it and let God approve you. Rest in him, but do the work. I'm not making this video to make you feel special in any way. Oh, well, I mean, if you gotta do it, you don't gotta do nothing. God just gonna bless you. No, because he has to see that you are willing. You can't be lazy. You can't expect the blessing to just come to you and expect God to just bless you, and you're not trying to do nothing. You just want God to. You're not even trying to meet Him halfway. You just want God to do everything for you. That's not how God works. Because what did you learn? If God gives you the fish, how you gonna learn how to fish for yourself? God can't always come and give you fish. You have to learn the method. Learn the methods of God. Learn the methods of heaven and fish for yourself, so you can feed your family. So God did it, and God did it. And I just have so much faith that this right here is gonna help you guys. I really pray that you guys see the magnitude of how crazily insane this testimony is. How prophetic and supernatural this testimony is. But my baby is wet, so I'm about to go change him. Isn't he adorable? God ain't gonna let me and this baby struggle, or for nobody. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna ask for nothing. Cash up in my bio. I ain't gonna ask for a certain amount of money. I'm not gonna tell you that I need it, because essentially, if nobody helps me, if it's not put on nobody's heart to help me, God got me. He's gonna continue to have me. And no matter what my enemies say about me, God is going to continue to bless me. He's going to continue to give me the rich that are stored up. Because I'm righteous in His eyes and in His sight. Because I try and I have faith and I listen. So all God wants is for you to listen. Listening causes a need and takes faith. And faith is the only thing that pleases God. Just listen. Not saying you're going to be perfect, but listen. Try. I done been through it. I gave birth by myself. His daddy wasn't there when I gave birth. My sister and my best friend were there. I had a complete stranger, my neighbor, drive me to the hospital. She was there when my mucus plug started to fall out. Listen. Listen, he's talking. Hear him. Me and this child gonna be all right. And I'm thankful for everybody in advance who does donate and who does help towards, things I need, because I do need help. I'm a single mom out here. I need help. And I got myself in situations that I can't get myself out of, but God can. I cannot afford an attorney. But I ain't worried, because see, that guy thinks that he won. But he don't know that God is doing this to teach me my lesson. And once I learn it, he's done with it. Done for. So I pray that this testimony touched somebody. Paid in full is the word for the rest of this month. Paid in full. I love y'all, and I have more videos, so go watch those if you still want to see my face. Say bye-bye, little man. Say bye-bye.